What's your name?
My name is Tom Cordell.
When did you move in?
6.5 years ago.
First day at Bevin Court. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember moving in and going, oh my god, I've got to take these horrible net curtains down. So yeah, I moved in and I thought it's full of other people's stuff. It had this most enormous sofa.
Really?
Sofa the size of Wales that filled up most of the living room, and this really horrible fake Victorian fireplace. And so the fireplace was just hooked on behind, so I just lifted it up and threw it out. It had textured wallpaper, everything overpainted about 100 times, so it sort of shined
crusty,
at you. Yeah, fleur-de-lis coming at you.
What was it like compared to where you lived before?
I'd moved, I think, 4 times in the preceding year, so it was all a bit. I know I'd been living down on the Grazing Road for a bit, and I had a store unit down the road, and I had this from my office. I'd borrowed this big sort of trolley that was about 4 foot square with wheels and a thing you pulled it along. So I moved house manually with putting. That was really fun. Walking through the street with all your possessions on this truck, and you sort of get in there and you think, what can I do in the next 10 minutes to make this place feel like my own home?
Yeah.
But
so what did you do?
Just got stuff out and put things out. But so the places before had all been temporary, and it was really nice not to feel that actually I'm permanent somewhere. So it was just very nice, and it's a beautiful place. So you open the windows and there's birdsong and trees and stuff. So.
Beautiful, yeah. So what do you know about Bevin?
Well, he was born he's Georgian. He was born in what was the Russian Empire, 1901. Yeah, and I think he's one of those people who created a bit of a myth around himself. But the story goes that he was living in St. Petersburg when the Russian Revolution kicked off, and he was looking out the window and he could see it out his window. So it reminds you of those Eisenstein films of the crowds and the storming of the Winter Palace. And he travelled all around Europe that era, and in the 20s seems to have been in Paris hanging out with the avant-garde. Probably bumped into Goldfinger there, who he hated. They hated each other. I think there's these monstrously large egos, and they were all competing for the same space, so you can imagine that they wouldn't have been very happy together. And he lands up in London in about 1931, I think, 32, and somehow creates this career for himself as the leading modernist in Britain. He didn't have any particular, I don't think he had any formal qualifications even. He didn't really have to in those days. And somehow, because no one really wanted to build modernist buildings, he and a few like-minded people, a lot of whom didn't like each other, but they sort of got these opportunities to build examples of their work.
Yeah. And what do you think about this one?
Well, it's a very nice place to live.
Yeah.
And that's the starting point.
Yeah.
And it does have an unusual sense of community compared to other places in London. So.
And do you think that's due to the architecture?
That's the question that's not really answerable, is it? I suspect it's at least in part to do with the architecture, but it's also to do with housing policy, who and how you house people, and more than anything else, I think because there's no security of tenure in London, the very few places, the 2 places where you will have settled communities are either where you've got local authority housing, where people have secure tenancies, or areas that have established owner-occupier populations, because they don't move if they like the area. Yeah. But most of London has a very transitory feel now.
Okay, favourite memory of Bevin Court, or your favourite season to be in?
Memory is working out how to get on the roof.
Did you get there?
Yes, yeah. It's harder now, but you used to be able to get on the roof quite easily. Taking friends up there and looking at the city at night.
So what's changed since you moved in? 6.5 years have gone on.
What has changed? Well, partly your perception of it changed because you get used to the place, so you feel more settled. A huge amount of my life has gone past, and you don't even realise it. You just think all these different things that have happened. Yeah. So your memory of the place is entwined with that. But in terms of the environment of the place and the community of the place, it's been massively improved by these people who are much harder workers than me, who are doing things with plugs and making it look nice. And that activity, that sort of mutual endeavour of improving the place is what's taught the community a lot as well. I don't know how absent it was when I moved here, because you don't have anything to compare it with before, but it definitely seems to be something where people have really come together.
Best view at Bevin Court?
Best view is as high as you can get in the building, and looking actually west over St Pancras and King's Cross, because it's not a familiar view. I mean, you can see the West End from various hills and things, but you don't see those buildings from that angle any other way. And where the light hits them, as the sun goes up and the sun goes down, it swings around, so they're either backlit when the sun's going down, or in the early morning they've got that low, very orangey light you get at sunrise.
Good answer.